So Cauchy's differential equation, we are going to do the third problem. So here what we have to assume, that e power z is equal to x, or we can say take take log on both sides, it will be log x is equal to z. Okay, and one more assumption, which is nothing but after differentiating, d square x dy by dx is equal to dy, and x square d square y by dx square is equal to d into d minus 1 into y. This is the assumptions we are going to take. Now here, as we have seen in the question, this entire part can be written as what? This thing. This entire part can be written as what? Dy. Y will remain as it is. RHS also, if you observe, log x can be directly written as what? Z. So this equation will change. So first part will become d into d minus 1 into y minus dy plus y is equal to 2 into log x, it will be z. Now if you take LHS part, if you observe, we can take y common. So it will be, first expand this thing, d square minus d plus 1 into y is equal to 2z. Now here this will become d square minus 2d plus 1 into y is equal to 2z. This is the simplified version. Now after getting simplified version, we know that we have to form the equation, auxiliary equation. Before that, let me just explain here. Always remember the solution is given as y, which is equal to yc plus yp. And as we know that yc value is also called as complementary function, and yp value is called as what? Particular integral. And CF, if you want to find out, it depends on what? LHS part only, function of d. But particular integral will depend on both RHS as well as LHS. So here remember that variable is z, right? So we have to deal with that. Now whatever is there inside the bracket, in order to form, first we are going to find yc. So in order to form yc, whatever is there inside the bracket, that you have to write it as what? See here, auxiliary equation will become, in place of d you put it as m, so it will be m square minus 2m plus 1 equated to 0. That's it. Now we have to find the roots of m such that we can get the value of yc. So you can use, this is quadratic equation, you can use splitting a middle term, factorization method, or quadratic formula. If calculator is allowed, you can use that also. Now here we'll go by splitting a middle term. So coefficient here is 1, here is 1, so 1 into 1 is 1. For multiplying two numbers, you should get 1. What is the middle term? Minus 2. So when you add two numbers, you should get minus 2 as the answer. So one factor is only 1 and 1. So I have to take 1 and 1. So m square minus 1m minus 1m plus 1 is equal to 0. So why I have taken minus 1m minus 1m? Because minus 1 will give you minus 2, right? Minus 1 into minus 1, we have to multiply, we will be getting plus 1. Right, so this is satisfied. Now we have to do grouping. So first two, we can take m common. What is left out? M minus 1. Here also what is left out? M minus 1 equal to 0. So it will be minus 1 outside. Now if you take this and this are common, so we can write it as m minus 1. Here also what is left out? M minus 1, which is equal to 0. So m minus 1 is equal to 0 and m minus 1 is equal to 0. Okay, so multiplication. So both the things will be there. So here m value will be plus 1, here also m value will be plus 1. So you can write the yc value as what? See, already we have discussed both the values are same, equal. So it comes under the category of real and equal roots. Real and equal roots, suppose m is equal to alpha and another value is also alpha, both are equal. Then yc can be written as what? C1 plus C2x into e power alpha x. But here remember that variable is z, so you have to consider the yc value for this particular thing as c1 plus c2 into z into e power alpha. In place of alpha you will put 1, so you need to x, so it will be 1z, or simply you can write it as what? Z. Okay, this is the yc value. Now we have to calculate the pi value, or we can call it as yp value. For that purpose, what you have to do, as the simplified form, so here yp value will be equal to what? Whatever is there inside the bracket, so 1 by whatever is there inside the bracket, d square minus 2d plus 1 into what you have to do, right? RHS side, whatever is there, right, multiply with that to 2z. Okay, so this is which form we are going to consider. This is of the form what? Polynomial. See, we have already discussed whenever the RHS part we had polynomial in X, what we used to do. There we discussed, right? So we are going to divide both, but the thing is that you have to arrange the numerator part. So numerator can be written as 2z. Denominator, always it should be in ascending powers. Numerator, the power should be what? Descending. Anyways, it is only one term. Denominator, always the power should be what? Ascending powers. This is the case we are dealing with polynomial. So polynomial you can see over here. So if you arrange this in ascending order, what it will be? 1 minus 2d plus the d square, right? Ascending order, always remember. Now we have to divide both the things. So for dividing carefully, you see. So here outside it will be 1 minus 2d plus the d square. Inside it will be 2z. Okay, so variable here is z. Now we have to find the answer for that, quotient for that. That will be the yp value. Value is nothing but the quotient of this division, answer of this division. So here 2z is the first term inside the bracket, 1 is the first term outside the bracket. So 1 into what will give you 2z? So that what will be equal to 2z, right? So 1 into 2z will give you here 2z. Simple. Next, but this is not over. We have multiplied 1 with 2z and got 2z, but we have to multiply minus the 2d as well as d square with what? 2z, and write the answer over here. So for that multiplication, see here, we have to multiply 2d minus 2, minus is there, be careful. So 2d into 2z. Now what is the meaning of capital D? We already discussed this is nothing but the differentiation d by dx, but here the variable is z, so you have to consider d by dz of what? 2z. Now what is 2 is already there, and differentiation of 2z is what? 2. So how much you are getting? 4. So write it over here, minus 4. Why minus? Here minus sign is there, be careful with that. Now again d square I have to multiply, so d square into 2z. Now what is the meaning of d square? D square means double differentiation. So double differentiation, what will happen? First time if you differentiate, you will be getting 2. One more time if you differentiate, you will be getting 0. Since we know that the differentiation of a constant is what? It is always 0. Now, if you want, you can write 0 beside 4. No need to write. You simply leave it. Now subtract. How much will be getting? This is cancelled. Minus into minus plus 4. Now what is the first term? Second part of this thing. So here 4 is the inside the bracket first term. Here 1 is the outside the bracket. So again what you have to do? So 1 into what will give you 4? 1 into, directly we can write 4. So 1 into 4 is 4, right? Then 4 has to be multiplied with 2d also. 2d into 4 is nothing but a 2 into differentiation of 4, right? Differentiation of 4, we know it is constant 0. So no need to go for what? D square, since we know that first differentiation is only 0, so no need to go for that. So directly the answer we are getting here minus 4, plus 4, then you have to subtract, you will be getting 4 minus 4, 0. So we are getting the remainder as 0. Always remember remainder should be what? 0. Now after getting remainder 0, we are getting some quotient over here. This is the quotient. This is nothing but yp value. Always remember. Okay. So yp value is nothing but here 2z plus 4. Now after writing yp value, we can write the y value. Y value is equal to yc plus yp. And as we know that what is yc value? C1 plus C2 into Z whole into e power Z plus 2Z plus 4. Now this is the answer we are getting. Now here remember that we have to convert some values, right? See, starting we assumed some values. We assume that x is equal to e power Z, or we assume that taking log x is equal to what? Z. This is what we assume. So here in this case also, when you are writing the answer, be careful. So C1 plus C2 into, in place of Z, what you are going to put? Log x, right? Log x into e power Z. What is e power Z? X. So into x plus 2Z. So 2 log x plus 4. So this will be the final answer.